No. Huh? Get over the house where the sun's not in your eyes. Close to the edge of the house. Huh? There ain't no little airplane that moves 5 miles in 2 seconds.
I know, that's what I mean.
Or it's moved more than 5 miles. It moved over that part of the sky there. It probably moved 500. It probably moved 100 miles in a matter of a second or two.
Look at these up there now. You know. You see that now? See that big one? See it going? Do you see it? Oh, you can't see it.
I can't see it with this.
Jesus, you're...
No. There ain't no little airplane that moves 5 miles in 2 seconds.
I know, that's what I mean.
Or it's moved more than 5 miles. It moved over that part of the sky.
They should grow bigger like that, huh?
Uh-huh.
What is this thing? What is in this footage? Is this a huge mothership? Or is this simply a spider web in the wind? That's what we're going to look into tonight.
No.
It's 4K skywatching time.
Red alert!
Yeah, shit, yeah. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Tom King. This is the 4K Skywatching podcast. It's already October. Oh, shit. Not October, August 29th, 2025. Where's the time flying? Tonight's episode number 34 is going to be totally on the Tim Edwards story. I knew Tim. He was he was the first person I investigated, the first UFO case I investigated um, in the field. And looking back, yeah, that's what happened. I didn't plan it that way. It just happened, and he was the person who guided me on the journey, starting the path to where I got today. 4K Skywatching is a YouTube live channel by Skywatchers for Skywatchers, for professional Skywatchers, amateur Skywatchers, whatever you want to do. If you want to learn how to get into it, this is the channel for you. Live Friday nights. Sometimes we do a Skywatch like last Friday. Sometimes, most of the time, we cover stuff. Uh, we had our asses kicked earlier this week with the storm that came in and just absorbed the entire town. It made national news. Everyone in town calls them dust storms. The people on the news use weird language. They call them haboobs. Hey, boobs. Nobody calls them haboobs here. Anyway, dust storm came in, swallowed up the system. I was watching it happen. Saw it incoming. Got the cameras into position. Had the radar pull up like I do now, and said, let's see what shit happens. So the radar pulls up the same height as it is now. I collected all those videos, and they're going to be the outro video after tonight's show. So there's going to be about a 2-hour show on Tim Edwards. It's going to be interviews of behind the scenes with him and his daughter. We're going to show the footage. We're going to show the footage blown up, stabilized. We're going to show media coverage of it. That was a really, really huge case back in '95. That's seemingly all but forgotten, and it's kind of a footnote now in ufology. Most of us will be forgotten as time goes on. Unless you do something really, really big or something really, really bad, as time goes on, most of us will simply be forgotten because there's just billions of us and trillions of podcasters. This is the 4K Skywatching podcast. I have, if you're new to the channel, thanks for watching. I have the city of surveillance under surveillance. I have for 4 or 5 years now, 24/7. This is a view from the radar pole, which is a pneumatic mast that goes up and down. Right now it's up 4 bars. It goes up 6. It could go up 7, but there's a section of it that's not working. I have the UFO app running. Um, I'm doing a test on. Basically, this is kind of my idea of a whistle, dog whistle, is point at a piece of gear and then hit it with a bounding box and see if the UAP flies through it. No, no communication out there. Just I got the stuff set up. I'm waiting. Now fly through it and see what happens. So far, unsuccessful here. It is recording a lot of bullshit. A lot of bullshit is being recorded from that. Um, and if you hear the cosmic watch going off, that is also up and running on the UFODAP system, which changes at night. So if you are a UFODAP um, user, watch this channel. I'm one of the few people who give you instructions on how to use it. You don't need the internet for it. UFODAP is an automatic data acquisition um, processing software that automatically looks at stuff, processes it, and records it. It can record a lot of garbage. Hey, how you doing? Happy Friday to you. It's Memorial Day weekend or Labor Day weekend. Shit, Labor Day weekend, 3-day weekend for a lot of us. If you're in IT, you're probably working on the weekend because that's when you install your stuff behind the scenes. So we have a lot of footage tonight on Tim Edwards. I remastered everything in 4K. I kind of wanted to do this last week, but I wanted to do this right, and I was out of town in Salt Lake City. So I wanted to get everything, all the ducks in order, so the ducks are in line tonight. Um, Kind of how I got into this is when I moved to Phoenix in '95. I wanted to get into skywatching. I saw a lot of stuff on television like everyone else, would watch all these mystery shows. I would watch TV shows. I loved the television show Sightings. That was like the gold standard back then. It was a real popular show. And then we had the show Encounters. We had the X Files on. We had Dark Skies. It was a golden period back then, and it was a lot like now, where it seems like the governments are going to leak or disclose or something's always around the corner, but it never is. That was a lot. The feeling was a lot. Today was we had that feeling back then too. So when I moved to Phoenix, one of the people I saw on television a lot was Jose Escamilla. He lived in New Mexico, and he was filming UFOs all the time, just by setting the camera up on a tripod. So I figured I'd do the same thing. Kind of sandwiched, Arizona's kind of sandwiched between us and Mexico. Mexico City was having a big flap. Oh, what the hell? Well, I didn't really know where to start. I didn't know, like, how do you start skywatching? Like, if you don't have no footage, how do you get footage? What do you do? So my idea was just replicate what these guys were doing. Um, and let me turn this off. This is using a little bit of processor there on you for that. It's going crazy anyway. So I want to replicate them. And I come home one day, and on the news is this story. For once, it's not the Escamilla family. It's of Tim Edwards. This guy named Tim Edwards in Salida, Colorado, had recorded this really good footage. And they showed snippets of it on the news, and Tim was just a regular guy who recorded this. So I wanted to look into this. So they showed this quite a bit on the news. Local MUFON was even saying this was Arizona. MUFON was talking about this, but this took place in Colorado. So I called up information, and I asked for Tim's number, and they gave me Tim Edwards' number. And that's what you did back then. You had to look things up yourself. So I looked him up, called him. I was amazed he just answered the phone, and we talked for hours. And I was just Johnny Nobody to him. Very, very friendly guy. And he was telling me, he was saying, Tom, you got to look up by the sun. He filmed this Salida footage by the sun, and he was saying that's what you need to do. You need to look up by the sun, that these objects are up there um, hiding in the sun. And I thought, well, that's kind of brilliant. So um, he had a technique where he called it the solar technique, where you would use your camera to block the roof of the house,
No.
but you would never look directly in the sun. And that's what he advised me, so that's what I tried out. And here's an example of that: is you put your camera on a tripod, and you use the roof of your house to block the sun, and you don't point into the sun. I had junk cameras back then, and just whatever was laying around for a camera, and ended up burning one out by looking into the sun for only like 20 seconds and flashed a little bit. And that was the end of that camera. So I tried what Tim tried. So Tim was all over the news, and he was on that television show Sightings. So let's take a look at the local news. And what was kind of shocking back then was they were saying this was alien spacecraft. The A word was used. They don't really say aliens very often. That you don't see turn on the news and they say a large alien spacecraft. Well, they did here. I had a totally different perspective back when I was totally green, didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and learning than I do right now. So we're going to kind of cover that arc throughout this episode. So here's what some of the news said, and you can watch what the response is, and you can see how well it aged. And again, they had Jim Dilettoso on here. I'd seen Jim on television so many times in Sightings, looking at crop circle videos, ghost videos, and whatnot. So he was a trusted guy. So when I called Tim, he told me Village Labs had it, and they were looking at it, and they were putting out a press release. Let me get that thing activated here. And there we go.
Caught the supposed flying saucer on his camcorder as it hovered over his house last month. A video expert with a lab in Arizona took a look at the tape. Village Labs says the footage is not a lens flare, not a reflection, not an optic aberration. The lab calls it a very large, solid, three-dimensional, possibly cylindrical object flying at high altitude. More testimony and testing of this UFO tape is planned. So there.
So stay tuned. UFO sightings or the people who saw it claim it was a real flying saucer. Salida is about 2.5 hours southwest of Denver off Highway 285. 9 News reporter Tom Costello says some people there are convinced they've had their own close encounter.
Do you see it?
Look real hard. Tim Edwards is convinced what you're seeing is a UFO, a flying saucer over Salida. It was 9:30 on Sunday morning when Tim says his 6-year-old daughter Brandy told him there was something strange in the sky.
It looked like a spaceship.
I started looking at it, and it would move like 30 degrees to the west in just a matter of a second.
Tim says he grabbed his home video camera and shot the UFO from this spot in his backyard.
We were looking up at the gutters at the time.
Every once in a while, you get a glimpse of the gutter on Tim's house. He says he stared at the UFO long enough he could see that whatever it is, it has an unusual shape to it.
A disc with rectangular lights, an upper row and a lower row of lights.
The Edwards aren't sure where this UFO came from. They've been looking at their home video over and over again, trying to figure it out.
You can see the red and green lights.
They've also been swamped with phone calls. While we were there, the UFO Center called. We asked a Denver UFO enthusiast and a skeptic to look at the tape and tell us what they think.
Very tantalizing. This has all the characteristics of a classic UFO sighting. Multiple witnesses during the day, extraordinary.
What I saw there was a light. That's it. And someone who is not holding a camera very steady.
As for Tim Edwards, he says he's not surprised a UFO stopped over Salida. His close encounter has made him a firm believer.
But I figure as big as the universe is, in the back of my mind, I always think probably thought there was something out there somewhere, for sure.
Take one more look. What do you think, Adele?
Makes you wonder. We call the FAA in Seattle. They tell us they've had no reports of anything unusual in the skies over Colorado on Sunday. But the UFO hotline operator tells us there have been similar sightings across the country over the last 2 weeks. Phenomena. Some folks in Salida say they are seeing UFOs in the skies above their town. Last month, one person believes he captured one on videotape. Salida is about 2.5 hours southwest of Denver off Highway 285. 9 News reporter Dan Rascone says many people there are convinced it is not a hoax.
There comes one out. Look at this one going this way.
I saw something up there.
There's one coming in.
They were kind of like spider webs.
Yeah, go tell them.
Most of them are square.
Something's gonna happen. There's no doubt.
You guys seeing these things I'm describing?
There's something in the skies above the town of Salida that's making heads look upward.
No, I ain't crazy. I seen something.
See way up there? Way up
Tim
there.
Edwards and his family have been looking to the sky since he made this strange sighting last month. Now Edwards claims he's seen more. Yesterday morning, he spent 3 hours videotaping white flashes across the sky.
It's definitely not a hoax.
Edwards admits much of what you see here is cotton from nearby cottonwood trees. But he says most of the white flashes are spacecrafts.
We know what we were seeing wasn't cottonwood floating in the air. This stuff is at extreme altitude, going up through when the cloud cover started coming through. You can see this stuff shooting up through the cloud.
Edwards called a local radio station, KVRH, to announce the news. A sheriff deputy responded to the scene. KVRH took him live on the air.
There was a bright, shiny object.
The next day it made the front page news, beating out the big local murder case. Even a crew from the TV show Sightings showed up. But Edwards not only believes that he saw something up there, he also believes that this alleged UFO is trying to make contact with him and send him a message.
No, I'm not crazy.
Edwards says he's just a believer now in the unknown. In Salida, Dan Rascone, 9 News.
You've been sitting here giving me these looks, Ward. Now, you have to try to be objective, even though by nature we're kind of...
I just think there's a possibility when things get slow in Salida, you pull the leg of the Denver media, right?
We'll see.
Maybe? I don't know.
One person's
That's my
guess. Let's talk Rockies baseball, and right now, it's looking pretty good.
It looks pretty good, I tell you.
Those are UFOs.
One research lab has a preliminary conclusion. I'll have the story.
Hear what they have to say about it next.
And later take a Colorado getaway to the picturesque Maroon Bells.
Also talk with a new... Want a new show?
October 27th. New information tonight about a UFO sighting in Salida back in August. Since our first report, there have been several calls from people all over Colorado who say they've also seen the strange object. Well, News 4's Byron Brown tells us people who claim to be experts have examined the videotape and say it's definitely alien.
It was back on August 27th when Salida resident Tim Edwards saw something unusual in the sky. Tim, along with his daughter and father, videotaped what he believed was a UFO. The tape was sent to a lab in Arizona to be examined. After several weeks of looking at the tape, Village Labs in Tempe, Arizona, has a preliminary finding. They say what's on the tape is real and definitely alien.
At a technical and visual level, I believe this to be a real object, not a mistake, but a large object, a great distance from the camera, because it has the optical characteristics of a large object, and most importantly, it fits identically the criteria of objects like this that have been seen all over the world.
Jim Dilettoso, who's examining the tape, says it appears to be more than 60,000 feet in the air and a mile long. A similar object has been seen all over the world, last captured on tape flying over Russia in 1990. Scientists say the sightings have been coming in for over 30 years. This analyst has come to an astounding conclusion.
I think this is a very large craft piloted by people from another world visiting Earth.
Colorado's Mutual UFO Network has been getting calls from Grand Junction to Boulder and the rest of the West about seeing the same object during the late August weekend.
Well, we've gotten a couple from Grand Junction. There had a couple witnesses that saw it out there just an hour or an hour and a half prior to Mr. Edwards capturing it on video over Salida. We also received a call from a gentleman in Sacramento who saw it fly over Sacramento, California a few days before.
Village Labs will continue to examine this tape, enhancing the edges frame by frame, hoping to get a better picture of what this object actually looks like and its actual size. Byron Brown, News 4.
And Village Lab says it could take weeks before they are able to enhance the video well enough to get a good look at that object. In the meantime, the tape is being sent to other labs and scientists.
So there you have it. Jim Dilettoso of Village Labs was saying this is alien spacecraft at 70,000 feet. Late Dr. Bruce Maccabee had basically an opinion along those lines. MUFON in Colorado said it was a big cigar. MUFON in Arizona said it was a big cigar. The television show Sightings, they came in, and that was like the holy grail. Sightings comes over to your house back in the 90s. If you got that, I was like, shit. So let's check that out. It's kind of a bad copy. A lot of the stuff I have that I transferred to digital. Some of these were third and fourth generation copies that were so bad, they just sat in a folder for decades. And this happened 30 years ago, and just 2 days ago, 30 years ago, this took place. So AI was able to save some of those news clips. So it's somewhat watchable, so it can be viewed for historical reasons. But here's Sightings TV show.
Dramatic new video of a mysterious high-flying disc in one of America's most active UFO hotspots.
It doesn't look like any conventional aircraft.
Sightings looks at the strange phenomena in the skies above Colorado's San Luis Valley. The ghosts of this small western mining town's past were so real, you could almost feel them. Now, you can hear them.
Listen.
Many people consider Maria Esperanza to be the greatest mystic of this century. Sightings goes to Venezuela to witness a miracle at Betania.
She knows everything about you, the present, the past, and the future.
And Comet Hale-Bopp is headed toward Earth at the rate of 600 miles per minute. Are we prepared for its arrival?
Welcome to Sightings. I'm Tim White. After many years of reviewing home video of supposed UFOs, it takes a lot to impress the Sightings investigative team. But what you're about to see is among the most intriguing UFO footage we've ever broadcast. A brilliant disc-shaped craft hovered over Salida, Colorado for more than an hour. Tim Edwards has spent most of his life in Salida, Colorado. He runs the cafe his dad started 20 years ago. Tim's heard his whole life about fireballs, mutilated cattle, and UFO sightings in the valley. He never thought it would happen to him, but then it did. On the morning of August 27th, 1995, Tim recorded this videotape.
See it going? Do you see it?
Approximately 9:30, me and my daughter Brandy came out here, and she has said that she looked up in the sky to see if it was going to rain that day.
If it was going to rain or lightning or something, we couldn't go camping, so I looked up and I saw it.
I looked up again, and I see a very intense, bright, shimmering white light. At times, it appeared to be a boomerang shape, too, or a slight arc.
Tim called his restaurant to see if anyone else had sighted the UFO. Cook Michael Maggio told him he'd take a look.
Come out here, about right here, look beyond the door, and I could see the 3 flashes come off that looked like boomerangs, and it was bright white.
Then a fourth witness, Tim's 15-year-old daughter, Lorraine, saw the UFO.
At first, I thought those guys were crazy. I was like, that's dumb. And then when it started moving around, I was like, couldn't believe it.
Michael Curta is MUFON's chief investigator in Colorado. He's been researching UFO activity in the San Luis Valley for several years.
Mr. Edwards' video is some of the best footage that I've seen, purely for the fact that, number one, it's a daylight sighting. There are multiple witnesses. It's a very large object, or appears to be a very large object, and we just don't get that many credible, good daylight sightings.
Sightings asked Chip Peterson to study the Edwards videotape. Peterson is an aerospace engineer specializing in computer enhancement and stabilization.
When you look at moving video, what you're actually seeing is 30 frames per second flipping on the screen very quickly, and that's what we've got right here. What you're seeing here is the edge of each frame that I had to stabilize by hand in order to keep this object in the center of the screen. So after you stabilize the image, you can see its motion much more clearly. Based on what I know of atmospheric flight, it doesn't look like any conventional aircraft.
Could it be otherworldly technology? Yes, it could. Could it be military aircraft? Yes, it could. Could it be some unexplained weather phenomena? That's also possible. There's an awful lot of strange things that occur in the mysterious valley of Colorado, and this is racking up to be one of them.
The San Luis Valley is 5,000 square miles of fertile Colorado pasture land, the largest, cleanest alpine meadow in the world. It's also a UFO hotspot. Recently, people here sighted huge fireballs streaking across the sky.
Over on this mountain range, we've seen the orange orbs that come down and sit or just race right across the mountain range.
This bright blue oval was traveling at the speed one would expect a meteor, and it stopped instantly and started straight down.
We saw lights come off of this side of the mountain over here, come clear across and go over the top of these mountains on this side. This light came across all the way across and no sound whatsoever.
For 10 years, researcher Chris O'Brien has studied more than 100 bizarre animal mutilations in the valley and their potential link to UFO activity.
The activity that we experienced in November through January was quite incredible. We saw so much activity here. We had green fireballs, blue fireballs, squadrons of blinking lights traveling too fast to be conventional aircraft, and then soon on the heels of many of these sightings, we had incredible military activity.
On January 12, 1994, the most spectacular UFO sighting to date occurred when an enormous arc of fiery orbs raced across the afternoon sky. Among the eyewitnesses was a retired 30-year Air Force veteran, pilot Jimmy Lloyd.
They were extremely bright, like strobes, a green color. There were 7 of them in a semicircular formation. They looked as big as a battleship and very fast. They were going at hypersonic speed, yet there was no sound wave.
Within hours of the sighting, it became clear that Colonel Lloyd was not the only one interested in the sighting. In nearby Monte Vista, Colorado, the local sheriff received a phone call from the North American Air Defense Command.
The Rio Grande County Sheriff's Office got a call from NORAD saying that one of their satellites had picked up a significant burst of heat up on Greeny Mountain.
The information to us from NORAD that night that we needed to exhaust all efforts to determine.
So that was what it was like back then. A lot of media attention. Now, Sightings paid Tim $3,000 for that footage, which is a F ton of money back in '95. That'd be probably the equivalent today of like $5 grand. I remember Tim did buy a newer camera with that. He got that because Dr. Michael Tanner, the guy who worked with Jim, he worked with the TV shows and the Sightings, and they're like, if you want exclusive footage, you're going to pay for it. So speaking of Sightings, they paid Tim $3,000 for that footage. And in '97, they paid Jaime Maussan and Lee Elders $25,000 for that August Mexico City wobbling saucer footage. Anyway, back on track. Tim was saying to look up by the sun and to go out and film, so I did. I don't recommend anybody do that. Now, I just had my eyes fixed. If you're watching the podcast, you know why. Last Wednesday, they cooked it a little bit. They had me in their office for a couple hours, and I had to decide how far away I want to see or how close up. And since I do programming and everything, I wanted this eye that got fixed, to be able to read the text. And now I can clearly read everything on the screen without having to use these damn glasses anymore. Now, this eye sees farther away, and I may need some for reading, but hey, it's a lot better than what I had. So anyway, don't. Oh, and Tim was telling people, look up by the sun. And there were optometrists that were pissed, telling people, look, don't do that. Don't look up by the sun. You don't need to do it. You want to do Skywatch and just set your camera any direction the UFOs will. Figure it out. it appear in front of the direction that you're pointing. But it did work. I did get stuff like that. So, like, here's one instance of something parked up by the sun that's hiding.
What the hell is that thing next to the sun?
Oh, there. I don't know.
Get the scope and look at it. It's down there. It's hovering, man. Nothing else can hover. It's still there.
Where? I can't see it.
So that's one video of a hockey puck that was just happened to be in the position of the sun hovering. It started blinking. We didn't get much more footage of it, but stuff does. That got me skywatching. That got me hooked. Back then, Tim called it the solar technique of using the roof to block it. Back then, we met a man named John Wilkie Bro, who lives in Los Angeles, who's a struggling actor working out there. He was, ironically, one of the aliens on Battle Beyond the Sky, one of those TV shows back in the '97 era where they had aliens and whatnot. He played one of the aliens. Anyway, he came up with it. He named it after himself, the John Bro technique. And it was the same thing, blocking out the sky. So I did it, and I caught stuff. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, to tell you the truth. I was green as shit. That was like my first year sky watching, but I was happy. I got something. I mean, you don't even care what it is. You just got something. You know, you're out there. It's like you're fishing. You got something. It's a fish. Maybe not a good one. But anyway, I was out filming stuff. I filmed a cylinder shaped thing. Made the fucking mistake of calling MUFON. That was my mistake. I called MUFON, and the guy put the clip. The guy takes the clip, and he goes to local Arizona news. I have the clip, but I didn't cue it up because that guy's a dirtbag. Anyway, this guy from MUFON takes it and plays it on the news. And at that time, I did not want to go public. I just wanted to collect stuff. He goes on and he says, this was recorded over at 48th and Baseline, and that's where I lived. And I thought, and I didn't tell him, you can go take this and run to the news to farm clout. Clout farming back then, you had to go to the fucking news. So he did. So anyway, that got the attention, sent the video to Tim. He thought it was what he calls the main crap. We sent it over to Village Labs. That's how I got to be introduced to Dr. Michael Tanner and Jim Dilettoso. And I was amazed. Jim was my hero. I saw him on all these shows, smart as shit. And he happened to live like 5 miles north of me in Tempe. So I was over there all the time after work. I was hanging out there. So back in the 90s, before I even got involved in the Phoenix Lights, I was doing this for a couple of years. And it was interesting seeing that Tim was becoming very famous. He was on all these shows. He was blowing up on the internet. The internet was different back then. We didn't have streaming. We had stuff like the Desert Rat newsletter that came out of Glenn Campbell from Area 51, Rachel. We had CNSI News from Michael Lindemann and his wife. I don't know what the hell happened to him. I like that guy. He was funny. He put out a newsletter. And then we had, I think, UFO updates coming out of New York. And that was the mailing list that had everything. That was like the 3 kind of chains of communication by email that we used. And Tim. That's what that was a huge shit back then. So yeah, I talked to him on the phone. And then they put me on the show Paranormal Borderline. That's when I decided, okay, I'll go public. And it was funny because Riker from Star Trek, TNG, was on that show. Love TNG. Anyway, me and Tim were on the show, and I still hadn't seen his footage yet. I thought, man, is he hiding the footage? Anything but. Tim was free with his footage. So he maybe, I don't know, he sent it to freaking everybody. He would send you the footage and all the new stuff that I just showed you. Solar, yeah. Well, so John didn't like that term. solar obliteration. That's what Sightings called it. And he was on Sightings too, with a real good capture of a disc going by. I later on, I ended up taking stuff from Tim Me, and I put it on this tape called UFOs Over America. I probably have a copy, 2 or 3 copies of VHS. If not looking back, that tape fucking sucked. I'm glad nobody really caught on to that one. But anyway, I filmed stuff too. Here's an L-shaped object I filmed that I haven't shown anyone. It's nothing special. Is it L? It's labeled L, but it's actually something very high up in the altitude. This is not using the solar technique. I didn't know what the hell this thing was. Let's move into that.
Rhonda, come here. What is this thing?
Good.
I got it on video now. I'm gonna have to call up my buddies and start filming this. No, this is like a long thing. I don't know. Look through the laser behind me.
Anyway, shitty video. I didn't think much of it. I remember it's L because I remember looking at, whenever I tape something, I try to ID it through a spotting scope first so you can see if it's a balloon, grocery bag, before you even bother recording. And I saw it L-shaped, so my imagination was telling me car dealership balloons, like something that they tied in a big damn arch or something, cut loose. I don't know. That's what I thought was more likely that was than Tim's. It didn't match Tim's at all. So Tim invited us up to Salida. I did several trips to his house in 95, 96, 97. Went up to his house, stayed there. Usually we'd stay about a week, so it'd be like a vacation for us. So let's see. I got to turn the audio down on this because I'm going to get a copyright strike from the Bee Gees. But this was us driving. There's the drive from Arizona to Colorado is about 14 hours one way. And we're driving out there, and I can't remember what this telescope array is, but it's in New Mexico. And
does that mean that they have to point right to the satellite?
in the same direction. So that goes on. And me and Tim, we knew each other's family. I know all about his kid, his family problems. He knew all about mine. But in '99, I went there and said, let's shoot a documentary. I'll edit something together. We're going to look at that in a minute. That was blown up into 4K. And then we're going to look at the making of that, where you could just see the long format of that. I've never showed that before, but that shows that of Tim. Tim Edwards was born in Honolulu. He went to high school, I think, in Colorado City. Tim passed May 30th, 2008. He was with his family. I think he had a heart issue. Tim was a great friend of mine. We talked hours and hours on the phone. I miss that man. I miss him. I miss Ted Lohman. I miss that era that was just golden back then. Tim died at 55 years old, which is the age I am now. He was like a brother to me. So here's him showing us around town. And we're driving, and I gotta say, they have better places to eat than Sedona does. This is the main drag, and there's all kinds of crap you can get for grub. In Sedona, when the sun goes down, you're effed. You know, if you're hungry, you better go drive an hour and a half to get to Phoenix or something, because you're going to eat gas station hot dogs and shit. Sedona had the patio pancake, and that's where Tim worked, and Tim loved cooking. The patio pancake where he was a cook, and it was apparent that Tim was in a different class than I was. I was just middle class, kind of poor, and Tim had a nice new house. He had money. He had all kinds of like stuff. He had access to it. I guess that he did pretty well, and he was in his 40s when this happened. So we're driving down the main drag here. I have to kill the audio because the audio is the Bee Gees. It's one Bee Gees song after another. This guy loved, he loved the damn Bee Gees. So there's the patio pancake. That's the place his parents own. Tim became obsessed with this. This changed his entire life. So life started wrapping around UFOs for quite a while, for a number of years. We're driving now towards Tim's own restaurant, E.T.'s Landing. So just kind of kitty corner to the patio pancake. He opened up his own restaurant. I don't know how he did it so fast. It's like all of a sudden, hey Tom, I got this new restaurant, it's patio pancake. It's like, how the hell did you put all this together so fast? He had UFO memorabilia, photos and stuff on the wall. He had videotapes to sell. But Tim mainly was cooking. So when we would go there, most of the time, we would just hang out at Tim's house, and then he was working until the place shut down. You're just proud of this place.
Okay.
Tail there. Huh? Little fish? Huh? What?
He fed us damn well. Tim fed people pretty good. Then he took us out to a cabin. That was iffy, man. That was iffy. He took us out to this cabin down the Colorado River. And he had a friend that didn't like the government at all.
You hear? Hey, when I ask you, when I tell you one time, you do it.
You said Brandon.
Well, who's on that policy? Get your ass off there. You know who I'm talking about. You.
Yeah, goddamn bears, man. That was sketchy. We go out to his friend's house, log cabin, no power, totally on his own. Bear scratch marks all over the front of his house. He had a family of a little bear and a mama bear came out. I don't know what those were, grizzlies or brown bears. But I was looking at like, okay, how do I get the hell out of here? I'm going to run over here, maybe jump in the car, or how do I get upstairs? I mean, I'm going to push whoever's the weakest in front of me first or something. The guy who owns the place. So anyway, we went out to camp. We did a lot together in Salida, and I made this this video of him and his kind of a story of his craft or what he saw. So let's move into that.
No.
So this is Salida, about an hour south of Colorado. It's the patio pancake. You saw a little bit of that. I did a little bit of remastering on some of this stuff, and I color graded it. Happened on August 27th, 40 years ago.
In the morning, my
daughter Brandy and I just got done eating breakfast and walked outside to two construction workers working on the gutter of my home. So we walked out and we're standing on the north side of the home looking up towards the gutter, talking to construction workers, and Brandy started saying, "Daddy, there's something in the sky." Didn't pay attention to her. "Daddy, there's something in the sky again." I looked up and I said, "It's just the sun," because 9:25 in the morning, we were on the north side of the house and we just had the sun blocked off with the gutter. So if we came out from the gutter at all, we were blinded by the sun. And again, "Daddy, there's something up in the sky right there," and pointed it out to me. I looked up and seen a very intense white glimmering, like just intensely lit white tube of light.
Tim ran into the house. He remembered he had a video camera inside. He decided to get it. Tim had no idea at this point that by recording this sighting, it would change his life forever.
Dad? Huh? Dad, that spaceship grow bigger like that? Huh? Dad, can a spaceship grow bigger like that? Huh? Huh? It could. Big thing after you, Dad. If a spaceship grow bigger like that, then it's a space.
Go get the binoculars. Oh, the more you look at it, it's just amazing. Go, where's your spotting scope at, Dad? When we got the binoculars on, a lot of time it turned into like we're looking into a fog bank or something like that, and it appeared it could be a wheel with an inner ball inside, with a wheel with the lights rotating around at a 360-degree wheel.
Orange! Jesus, it's orange. Yep, there's something going around it. Something going around it. Don't get papers on you? Thanks, dude.
There's three of us, me, Brandy, and my dad, all had binoculars on it during this time frame too, during my pausing and filming. And through binoculars, we can clearly see a double row of rectangular windows on it, going from a light sequence of a red to a pale green to a red across the craft. It appeared, to go across and almost like a wheel on a car or something to go forward and back, an osculating effect. The skin of the craft, which that was the only skin, was in between the windows, was equal to the height, about half the height of one of the row of windows, and so there was this skin between the windows, but the craft itself was all lights, except for that, the double row of lights were continuous with no structure in between each light. It was a solid light around it. Huh? Get over the house where the sun's not in your eyes. Let's see, it's that house. Huh?
the sky. It's making everywhere.
There ain't no little airplane that moves 5 miles in 2 seconds.
That's what I mean.
Or it's moved more than 5 miles. It moved over that part of the sky there. It probably moved 500. It probably moved 100 miles in a matter of a second or two.
Through all the telephone calls, I made 7 telephone calls to the sheriff's department, the radio station, twice to the restaurant. Was able to get one witness, a cook, to witness on the north side of the restaurant at the same time. I failed to say that, I said it was up by the sun. I failed to tell everybody that you need to block out the sun. It's just north and west of the sun. And so it pretty much stayed in that, it did stay in that same area the whole time we viewed it. When the craft left the area, I was on the phone with Peter Davenport, National UFO Reporting Center. I went down to the local paper and showed them, and then they interviewed me. And that made the front page headlines the following day. I went down to the local radio station, and they put it on the AP Newswire, and all the Denver media, CBS, NBC, and ABC, contacted me the following day, and all came up and did stories on it with Channel 4, CBS, doing follow-up stories on the lab analysis and testimony of witnesses and documentation on the craft. I believe it was about a mile long. I stated in the paper the following day that if it would have landed, it would have took out Salida, at least the business district, which is about 16 blocks. So my estimates was scanning it with the binoculars. It was like I actually was scanning it. It wasn't like I guess it was in the whole field of view, but it was, I was scanning with the binoculars, and it was incredible. The length, I would say, I still think it was about a mile long. That's my belief. We've got this craft, films and photographs of it around the world, and some spectacular pictures taken in 1998 in Monterrey, Mexico, by a prominent engineer down there. And they especially the big-time ufologist, failed to report. It seems like the big story. Got a major thing going on here. Cigar reports, up until about 3 months ago, we were getting almost a report every week from somewhere throughout the world, same description craft. With all this correlation we got, we're trying to get this out to the public, and that's what I've been doing at my restaurant, E.T.'s Landing. The restaurant format is pictures from Hubble, UFO art, and actual UFO pictures. It's basically an educational format for the public to heighten the UFO awareness to the general public. Tom King and from Phoenix, an avid ufologist, got a hold of me back in '95, and I got him to start filming the solar, using the solar technique down there. And not before too long, he was filming UFOs all over Phoenix.
Spaceship grow bigger like that? Huh? Dad, can a spaceship grow bigger like that? Huh? It could. Take the thing off of you, Dad.
binoculars.
She just stops and then, you know, it's not.
Yeah, I know.
It's erratic.
Erratic as hell. It ain't no kind of aircraft, I'll tell you that.
Oh no. You keep looking at it and you can see like a ball going around it. I mean, way out around it, you know? Like it's shooting cleanse off from it.
Well. Oh, the more you look at it, it's just amazing. Go, where's your spotting scope at, Dad? In the fifth wheel, or?
I don't think you ever get it on a spot.
Oh.
It's moving too much.
I can't have it, Dad.
Might be able to, because it's stationary a lot too.
God, this looks like it's orange. Jesus, it's orange. Yep, there's something going around it. Something going around it. So can I take this on you? Thanks, dude. It's like a little orange.
No?
Thousands of them going this way.
Huh? Get over to the house where the sun's not in your eyes. Close to the edge of the house. Huh? There ain't no little airplane that moves 5 miles in 2 seconds.
I know, that's what I mean.
But it's moved more than 5 miles. It moved over that part of the sky there. It probably moved 500. It probably moved 100 miles in a matter of a second or two.
Look at these up there now, you know? You see that now? See that big one? See it going? Do you see it? Oh, you can't see it.
I can't see it with this.
Jesus, you're...
So we're going to pause right there for a second. That's in Tim's entire footage that he recorded. If you like this channel, hit the like button. If you don't, hit the unlike button, complain up, and leave a comment. If you made it all the way to the end and you watched the storm video, let me know. We'll get into a little bit of news coverage. 2 helicopters landed in his front yard. They flew from Denver down to Salida to report on this. There were 6 witnesses to this event, including the cook at Tim's work, which is about 2 miles away. How the hell is this a spider web? You got 6 different people seeing it, including one person a mile away. Where is this spider web attached to? Now, back then, we saw, when I was doing the solar stuff, we saw a lot of stuff in the sky. I saw a lot of spider webs. The thing that I ended up taping, I didn't know shit back then. It was green like that Skywatcher group is. I take something, they told me it was a spider web. I believed it because Jim Dilettoso said so. And if he says it, I'm going to believe it. Who the hell am I going to say anything different? It's a construction worker. I don't know anything. I'm just getting into this. So they said that I had shot the thing too. So I had implicit trust in Jim. When he said it, he had all these computers. He had, well, the stuff I have now. You know, all this good stuff and all this great software. And he looked into this. And later on, like in today's setting, I learned not to trust that guy. That he's a bullshit artist. He's a name dropper. He drops more names than Jeremy Corbell could dream of. He likes to drop David Geffen. He likes to drop all these big names you've heard of and say he just talked to him on the phone. He was the type of guy that would read the table of contents in a book, and then he'd flip to the end and look at different things in the end of it, and then he'd tell people he read the book, but he never knew any details of it. He bullshitted his way through life, it seems. That's my perspective of it. He lived off venture capital. I don't think I've ever seen that guy have a real job like those of us do. When he was in Village Labs, he lived off venture capital from Jordy Hormel, from the Hormel meat era. From there, he went to work at this place called Alien Zoo that was up in Scottsdale. That was a startup that started up in '99. And they were hiring all kinds of people. They hired, after Village Labs went under, he got hired there as a consultant. What he did was sit around, bullshit with people, drink beer, smoke weed, get on live cameras. I know, I have footage from the live camera. We recorded the live camera from the Alien Zoo feed going out in the 90s. I have that footage. Then they hired me. They wanted me to work there. But by then, I had a different opinion with Jim Dilettoso on the Phoenix Lights, at least. Now, there's a tape I'm going to show you that I got from Jim Dilettoso. I don't have a really clear memory of what happened after I got this tape. This tape is more of this Tim Edwards type footage that was sent to him. This footage, what happened was, one of the many times I was down at Village Labs, he walked me around the facility, showing me just various rooms. The place was huge for 2 people to work at. We went in this front office area where you could have cubicles. They came with the building, I'm guessing, because I don't think he bought this. The office furniture alone in there would be $100,000 for all these cubicles and all the chairs and everything. A full-size copy machine. Every room had office furniture in it. And you know what? He did buy that shit. Because I remember when he went out of business, I bought some chairs from him. So what was to sell at least? So he walked me around, and we walked into this one room, remember, and he had a stack of postage sitting there. And it was obvious what was sitting in these were VHS tapes, some smaller packages, the smaller ones. And I asked him, what's this over here? And he goes, oh, those are videos that were sent in. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, people send in videos. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I get it. Because he's on all these TV shows. And they send him ghost videos. They send him anomalous stuff, and they want to get his endorsement. And sometimes it's fake. People send him hoaxes and whatnot. He investigated the Billy Meyer case with Wendell Stevens and Lee Elders. So he's pretty old school. He was on Ted Loman show a lot. So he had all these tapes, and I'm sitting there thinking, what the fuck, man? You could have the smoking gun sitting right here. And I'm like, how long have these tapes been sitting here? He's like, months. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man. How's this green as shit? So I'm like, and he was promising me a job back then. He's like, I'm training you with this supercomputers. They weren't super. We're at 46. I'm training you on how to analyze software with me, and we're gonna be besties. So I was like, shit, I saw this fucking little short guy on TV looking at ghost videos for years. Now I'm sitting in his goddamn building and he's hiring me. Fuck, I can get out of construction work, get a job at the air conditioning, and analyze UFOs for a living like Jim does. Who in the hell is going to turn that down? I mean, if somebody said today, I'll pay you $35 an hour to watch UFO videos. Anyway, turned out bullshit, because that's what Jim does. He stacks that bullshit mountain with the best of them. Not as high as Stephen Greer, but high. So anyway, I look at one, and he goes, oh, here, take this home. You open it up, and you see if there's anything on it, and then report back to me in 2 days. And I'm like, oh, cool. So this is kind of how it started. So I got this tape. That's the only way I could have got this tape, because I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. I'm going to play some more stuff. That tape from Village Labs, and it helps explain what the hell happened with Tim Edwards' case. But for some reason, it was forgotten for like 15 years or so. So anyway, we're going to go back to some media here. And let's look at news coverage.
It was just another ordinary day in Salida, Colorado. Tim Edwards' restaurant was closed for the afternoon, and he was working on his new home with his 6-year-old daughter, Brandy. And that's when this ordinary Sunday became extraordinary.
We were probably out here a couple minutes. Brandy started saying, Daddy, there's something up in the sky. I didn't pay attention to her. Again, she said, Daddy, there's something up in the sky. And I still am paying attention to her. And finally, he says, Daddy, there's something in the sky. I looked up, and the sun was just on this side of the gutter here, August 27th, so we were protected from the sun here.
This is what Tim saw. You're watching the actual videotape he recorded that day.
Dad, can a spaceship grow bigger like that? Huh? Huh?
Uh-huh.
It could.
Tim taped the object for more than an hour. His father also saw it.
I says, my gosh, what is that thing? And to me, it appeared as a long pencil-like aluminum foil triangle object in the sky, moving erratic, but staying just north and west of the sun.
Salida means gateway. Indian legend has it that this area was a window to other worlds. In recent years, ufologists have echoed those sentiments, saying in essence that Salida is a stargate, a gateway for beings from other worlds.
We've seen 3 lights over here.
Since Tim's sighting, UFO watchers have converged on this tiny town. They are especially excited for a couple of reasons.
Number one, it happened during the day, and we just don't have that many sightings that are captured on tape during the day. Number two, it's a large cylindrical or cigar-shaped object, and there's not a lot of those seen, and there's not a lot of video footage of those available.
Similar sightings were reported in Sacramento on August 21st, in Grand Junction, Colorado, the morning of Tim's sighting, and in Boulder, Colorado, on August 27th and 28th, by 7 different witnesses. All described what they say was a cylindrical-shaped craft.
What's that? We see kind of a dark...
That's the gutter of the house, because Tim is standing next to the house
looking up in the sky, and that's the gutter.
The tape has been sent to several labs around the country, including Village Labs in Tempe. That's where computer scientist Jim Dilettoso spent more than a month going over the video, frame by frame.
What we can do is analyze the edges of that object and the edges of that object. This is a very large object, about a mile long. It's very high altitude, 70 or 80,000 feet.
Dilettoso believes what Edwards saw is a UFO. As for Tim Edwards, he says he doesn't need a high-tech lab to confirm what he saw is real. He's known it since that August afternoon when he first looked up into the sky.
I am 100% convinced this is a craft from another world. There's no doubt in my mind, and this will come out in the lab, no doubt.
Caught on videotape by a most unlikely UFO observer.
See it going? Do you see it?
Tim Edwards runs the family restaurant, the Patio Pancake Place on Salida's main drag. Until he shot the video, his biggest concern was making the right change at the register and finishing up his new house. That all changed when he and his 7-year-old daughter, Brandy, went out to check the weather for a camping trip last August.
So we walked over here underneath the eave, right in this area here, and Brandy was standing right here, and Brandy said she looked up in the sky to see if it was going to rain that day.
I looked up and I said to Dad, Dad, there's something there.
And I didn't pay any attention to her. Again, Daddy, there's something in the sky.
He looked up in the sky and he said, it's just the sun. And then he looked up again and he saw it.
And that's when I first spotted it, and I looked at it and I says, what in the heck is that?
On the tape, you can hear Brandy talking to her father about what she's seeing.
Dad, can a spaceship grow bigger like that? Huh? Huh?
Uh-huh.
It could?
Tim Edwards rolled tape for over an hour, breaking only to call his wife, friends, and authorities. The same object Tim taped was apparently sighted by a number of different witnesses across the region, according to the Colorado director of the UFO network, Mike Curtis.
We have 7 witnesses that called CU Boulder Astronomy Department about 12 to 18 hours after Mr. Edwards made his original videotape. In addition to that, about an hour prior to Mr. Edwards making his tape at about 9:30 in the morning, 2 gentlemen jogging in Grand Junction, Colorado, 250 miles away, saw the same object pass over Grand Junction at a high rate of speed.
In Phoenix, Arizona, a similar object was also caught on tape by Tom King.
Main craft. There is the main craft.
Its similarities to the Edwards video are apparent.
I didn't know really what this was until I showed some other people, and they said, you have the same thing that Tim Edwards taped. And I really didn't know at the time what he had. I just knew he had a large cylinder and hadn't actually seen the video yet.
A split screen of the 2 objects shows how similar they are. For Kurt, the Edwards videotape is one of the most believable sightings he's come across.
The original witness was a 6-year-old little girl. You just don't get 6-year-old little girls to tell stories and come up with things like this. The fact that it's a daylight sighting is outstanding. It ranks right up there with, you know, some of the best quality video that we have and some of the best sightings. I would say it ranks certainly up in the top 10.
So far, it's an unidentified flying object, but can it be identified? Tim Edwards sent his tape to the Phoenix-based Village Laboratories. The company has been working in the field of image processing since the 1970s, including a contract with the Jet Propulsion Laboratory for NASA's Voyager spacecraft mission. Company president Jim Dilettoso subjected the tape to a series of tests.
In analyzing video, we have to take this low-resolution image, transfer it to the computer, and begin to study whatever we can. First thing, remove the noise. Take out the video noise, take out the lines, and then look for data.
Taking into account the position and angle of the camera's optical characteristics, and the known size of other objects in the frame, Dilettoso came up with some startling conclusions about the size of the object and its distance from the ground.
We believe that the object is about a half a mile long, about 2,000 to 3,000 feet long, and about 75,000 feet in the air. What does that compare to? 75,000 feet, 15 miles. 15 miles in the air. Half a mile long, 2 Sears towers, stacked end to end. Huge object.
His computer analysis also spotted what appear to be moving lights within the object.
This analysis reveals to us that there are definitely structures to the light. The data tends to support the concept that these are moving lights, moving with a pattern, moving with some intention. They move one direction, move back the other direction, and the brightness of the lights tends to support what the witnesses said.
But even more amazing is the similarity of the object that Tim Edwards caught on videotape and the accounts of the 1917 sighting in Salida. Sightings that occurred in the same week, exactly 78 years apart.
I thought, oh my God, it's happening again.
Reporter Arlene Chauvald found the account of the sighting in a 1917 edition of the Salida paper.
Reverend Oakley, who examined it with a telescope one night, said he could discern an object which appeared to be a wheel, and while the wheel seemed to revolve or move about, varicolored lights appeared. It could be almost the same story as what happened in 1995.
We could clearly see 2 rows of windows on it, and a light sequence of an upper row and lower row of windows, a light sequence of red to a pale green to a red across the craft.
The fact that in 1917 and 1995 in Salida, Colorado, 2 people viewed as reliable people in their town, 80 years apart, in the middle of nowhere, high in the Rocky Mountains, described the same thing. I think that's a remarkable coincidence.
But why would a UFO come back to the exact spot in the exact week, 78 years later?
What if the method of transportation for these large objects to come to our planet involve a coordinate with very specific physical properties? Polarity, resonance, magnetism, and they lock onto it, and that's where they arrive. There could be some interstellar homing beacon, either purposefully or naturally located high in the Rocky Mountains.
Most weeks, Tim Edwards is out taping, looking for still another unexplainable object in the sky. After all, Native American legends describe the area as a window to other worlds, and the Spanish word Salida means gate. Is Salida a gate through which we are being observed by visitors? Or is it a stopping off point for UFOs on their way elsewhere? We may just have to wait another 78 years to find out.
If there are alien intelligences receiving this broadcast, let me extend an invitation. Bring your craft down and land right here. We have an excellent parking space waiting for you just across the paranormal borderline.
Yeah, the paranormal borderline. That show kind of came and went. A live view right now of this thing go down in the Phoenix Valley. Yeah, I've stabilized this footage. Somebody was asking in one of the comments, how come they never see this footage stabilized? Well, you got to come to this channel, man. Anything that's worth a damn, I stabilize it. First, take out the camera shake, and let's look into it. Now that I've done some stabilization on parts of the video, you could take the video and run it through Kianovia, and then you could draw a line up the left, a line up the right, over the horizon, and say, where in the hell is this attached to if this is simply a spider web? It has to be attached on that house. And then behind Tim's house were these huge trees, so it had to be attached somewhere. How do 6 people in different spots all get tripped, right? So that's where I'm kind of arcing now, and I'm looking at this 30 years later. This was a huge, huge UFO case. And if it was off a spider web, god damn, that's remarkable too. That you end up on sightings, you end up on paranormal borderline. Jim Dilettoso, the expert, says it's a huge craft the size of two Sears towers at 70,000 feet, moving around real fast. Bruce Maccabee said it. Everyone in MUFON said it. Everyone drank the fucking Tim Edwards Kool-Aid, and I drank the shit right out of this refrigerator. But now, looking back, it was probably a spider web, but then how do you get this far into ufology off something that was mistaken identity? That's what we have to do, is we have to look at stuff like this. You know, if Tim was alive today, I often wonder what kind of conversations we would have about this. Would he say, yeah, I fucked up and I taped the spider web and I don't know how it got this far? I don't know. I think he's the type of guy that if more evidence came forward, he would say it, but then he was on every one of these damn shows saying that this thing is so big that if it landed, it would flatten Salida. But it's a spider web, if you're going to believe that, right? So that's the ultimate goddamn egg on your face. So that's almost one of the worst case scenarios of you get a person to come forward. Back then when the stigma was riding high. Then they mistake it for something else. Now, you hope you're forgotten, right? You hope you're forgotten in the annals of time because of this, because you were fooled. But the truth is the goddamn truth as we move forward. Let's get more into behind the scenes. This is me directing Tim and his daughter. This is how I put that edit together.
Yeah, well, we want to try to do that.
Okay, okay, wait. Start that over again, Brandy.
Dad, there's something up in the sky. Dad, there's something up in the sky.
No, it's just the sun, huh?
Dad, there's something up in the sky.
Okay, just a sec. Let me get a tighter shot, and we'll do that again.
Hey, there's this guy right there. You pointed it out to me. Remember? Let's see. Where did you point it out? What was it at?
It's right over here.
It was right up there. Okay. Well, I looked over this way.
We stopped.
I was walking. I remember it coming in this way, walking this way, like that. The sun was right there.
Okay. Okay, just a sec. And get focus on this. Okay, Brandy, go ahead and do that again.
Dad, there's something up in the sky. Dad, there's something up in the sky.
No, it's just the sun, hon.
Dad, there's something up in the sky right there.
What the heck is that?
Okay.
Now.
Okay, this is perfect. The sun's there. Go ahead and talk to him. Look up at the roof, Brandy. Go ahead and lean over the roof a little bit, Rob.
Come over this way and get into my sun a little. This is perfect. The sun's just in the right spot. Okay, go ahead and look up at him. Okay, Rob, look down and talk to these guys.
You got the flashing figured out so it doesn't leak behind the gutter?
Okay.
Dad, there's something up in the sky.
No, honey, it's just the sun.
Dad, there's something in the sky right there.
What in the heck is that? Huh? I said that? Oh, you said that? Oh, really? I can't remember that. Well, if you said it, say it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Dad, there's something up in the sky. Dad, there's something up in the sky.
No, honey, it's just the sun.
Dad, there's something in the sky right there.
What in the heck is that?
It looks like a UFO.
Whoa.
Go ahead.
Dad, there's something up in the sky. Dad, there's something up in the sky.
No, honey, it's just the sun.
Dad, there's something up in the sky right there.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna focus in on you, right? Okay, let me get autofocus. Yeah, just say there's something up in the sky right there. Okay, wait. When you do that, look up a little more so I can keep your head tilted up a little more so I can see it.
There's something in the sky right there.
Okay. Okay, Tim, I'm ready for you now. No, just stand next to him. Okay. Come back just halfway in the sun so your face is in the sun a little bit. Okay, go ahead, Tim.
What is that? Whoa.
Okay, just a sec. I'm going to get a tight shot on you. Okay, say that again. Do that again, Tim.
What in the heck is that? Whoa.
Okay, Brent, hold on. I'm not recording yet. Okay, go ahead.
It's a UFO.
Ready, Tom?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I gotta go get the video camera. How good of a memory a kid does at 6 years old.
Okay, I'm ready. Good. Okay. Okay, move your thumb out. Real slowly hit it. Okay, do it again and then just hold your thumb on it. Walk into the shot and look up, Brandy.
Huh?
Don't ever look at the camera. Walk into the shot and look up towards the sky. Okay, let me get a shot zooming past just like. Okay. Okay, look up, Brandy, and then your dad will say the cue.
Brandy, run in and get the binoculars. pretty much straight up this way, like that.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Son.
Okay, hold on. Screen doing right. Okay, do that again.
Yeah, and then I grabbed the camera and set the film.
Oh, really? Okay. Let me see the binocular, son.
Okay, I gotta.
It's huge. Don't need to comment any or.
Yeah, just make whatever comments you said at the time.
Oh, let me see the binoculars, hon. Go ahead and film, Brandy. Oh, the more you look at it, it's just amazing. It's huge. You can clearly see a double row of rectangular windows on it.
Not supposed to look like that.
Okay, go ahead.
See the binoculars, Brandy. It's huge. The more you look at it, it's just amazing. You clearly see a double row of windows on it.
Okay. Let me get one shot. Okay, now I got both of you in the shot, so you have to make sure you're looking up the same area.
Okay. Let me see the binoculars, Brandy. Go ahead and film it, Brandy. Wow, it's huge. The more you look at it, it's just amazing. You see a double row of windows on it. Are you getting it filmed, Brandy?
Yeah.
She's still trying to destroy my life.
This was kind of difficult interviewing a 10-year-old about what she's seen back then. What's interesting now that 30 years have passed, so she'd be like 40. So I hope Brandy comes across this video. She probably doesn't even remember this or know it exists. But I'm interviewing her about what she saw. She became somewhat famous in school because everyone knew her. I remember hearing a story about she wanting to take the video to school, Tim was telling me, for show and tell. And she was telling them that we had a helicopter land at our place and whatnot. So here's an interview with Brandy Edwards of what she saw that day.
Okay, what happened?
We're starting now?
Yeah, we're starting. What happened the day when you seen the main craft? What were you doing before you seen it?
Well, I just got out of breakfast and I came out. Me and my dad came out to see if the construction workers were doing it right and stuff. And then all of a sudden I looked up.
Okay, when you talk right here. So you're not looking in the camera. Just talk right to me and don't look in the camera. Now, when you walked outside, what were you and your dad doing when you walked outside?
We were telling the construction workers how to do the water thing right. And then I looked up and I told my dad, but we didn't really look up until I told him the third time.
When you just talk a little bit louder. When you looked up and you seen it, what was your first thought or reaction to what you seen?
First, it looked like an airplane, then all of a sudden it came lower, and then I saw like a round ball, and it sort of looked like a UFO, so I thought it was. So I told my dad.
How big do you think the main craft was?
Probably more than 30 feet. I don't know. 30 feet. I don't know.
Well, when the airplane flew under it, how big or how small did the airplane look compared to the size of the main craft?
Probably about that small. About 3 inches.
What colors did you see on the main craft?
Purple, orange, and blue. It's a little bit of yellow.
Did the construction workers look up at the main craft?
Yeah, one of them looked up and they didn't believe in UFOs, so they just said it was a parachute.
A parachute?
Yeah.
And it hung around the sun quite a bit.
Yeah. So I couldn't really see it because the sun was so bright.
Have you ever seen the main craft since?
No.
You never seen anything like? Have you ever seen anything in the sky that would be able to explain what the main craft was?
No, but at my grandma's I saw one.
You saw a main craft there?
It was big old. And I told my grandma I'd bring it up.
Do you think the main craft is something the military built or something built somewhere else?
Somewhere else.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Where do you think the main craft comes from?
Planets. I don't know. Mars.
But do you think somebody else built the main craft?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
After you seen it, what did you think after that? Like, how was it? What was it like going to school or talking to friends after you've seen something so bizarre that nobody else seen and nobody could relate to what you had seen?
Well, some of my friends didn't really believe me that I saw one, so I brought the video in, and then they thought it was, and then they believed me, and then I brought pictures in, and then they thought it was just off the computer. Some of my friends believed me.
What do you think it would have been like if your dad didn't videotape it?
Probably we wouldn't be like famous or stuff.
Well, not really famous, but I mean, did your dad, by videotaping that, did that help you believe it even more and your friends believe it, or?
Yeah.
Okay, then what I said, say something like that, like how it helped to videotape the object, or people may not have believed you. If that's what I'm getting at, do you think that helped?
Yeah. Because my friends believe me now, and some of my friends.
You took the school, or you took the tape to school for show and tell.
No, my teacher let me.
Your teacher let you.
But it wasn't show and tell because it was something else.
But what happened at school the day you brought the main craft to school to show everybody? What did the kids and the teacher think?
They thought it was pretty cool when I saw one.
And did the kids ask you questions, or?
Yeah.
What kind of questions do the kids ask about the main craft?
Like how long it was, and like, have you seen any more UFOs before you saw this one?
Did anybody ever laugh at you because you seen it, a UFO? Nobody ever makes fun. What do you think of all of the television shows that have came through and interviewed you and your dad? Do they do a good job? Do they really tell the story of what happened, or?
Yeah, they tell a story. And
Do they leave anything out in the TV shows that you'd like to see in?
Yeah, sometimes.
What would you like to see TV shows cover more? Lying to people about what they know about UFOs?
No.
No, do you think the government's honest and they're telling us everything they know about these objects?
Yeah, but some of them.
Do you think they know more about the main craft than they're telling people? Or you know more than the government?
They know more than me, government.
Would you like to see the government someday tell everybody what they know about the UFOs?
Yeah, I would like them to tell us about UFOs.
Do you think people should do more research on objects like this?
I think people should do more research.
Okay, you need to talk a little louder when you say that. What do you think these things are flying around in the sky? What are your thoughts on what these different things are that you see, that your dad, when he shows videos, what do you think they are?
I really think the things in the sky are really UFOs.
But what do you think they're made out of? Made by us or other people?
Other people.
Do you think they're made by other people?
Yeah, or us.
Or us? So we might be making some of them, but some of them we might not be making. When you grow up, do you think you're going to research UFOs or just get a normal job?
I probably would get a normal job.
But UFO researcher isn't.
Well, I might be a UFO researcher when I grow up.
Okay, say it again. Just say that calmly. We're talking about the future now. At the end of the tape, when we're just about done with the movie, we're going to talk about the future. Where do we go after all of this? You know, what happens next? So tell me, what happens? Where do you see yourself in 10 years now?
Probably married. I don't know.
But in relationship to UFOs, anywhere?
I'll probably have a restaurant, a UFO restaurant or something. No.
Do you want to walk in your dad's footsteps, and hopefully if he doesn't solve the mystery, maybe you will?
Yeah. Maybe I'll solve the mystery.
Do you think people with their cameras are going to solve the mystery?
Maybe. They might solve the mystery if they have the cameras.
Do you think it's good that more people go out and skywatch and when they see something, they record it?
I think it's good when they go out and skywatch and stuff. They record it and stuff.
Why?
Well, it usually tells me more about them.
Do you think humankind will ever solve what they are in your lifetime?
Humankind might solve them.
Because they've been around for thousands of years. We might die and never know what they were. Yeah. Maybe you and Brittany's generation will figure them out. Maybe our generation will. Somebody will someday. But do you think we're getting closer to answers?
Well, no, not that. But I don't think we're going to listen to answers barely. Sometime.
Do you think the main craft was a good? If there are people in the main craft, do you think they were good or bad people?
In the main craft, I think they were good people.
Good people?
Yeah.
You don't think bad people could have something that big? No. Probably not. Do you think Jesus or God or any of that's hooked into the UFOs at all and related?
I don't think Jesus or God or.
They weren't in there.
Never know.
How did people treat your dad in town? What did people think about your dad after he filmed this?
Well, some people laugh at us usually, or some people usually think, "Bro, that's really cool," or like we saw it and filming it and stuff.
Did you get to meet anybody famous because of this?
Yeah.
Who did you meet?
News 4.
News 4?
Yeah.
Was that when the helicopter landed in the front yard?
Yeah, that's when the helicopter landed in the front yard.
Right about where the car is, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool, because I've never had a helicopter land anywhere near me. And if they did, it'd be to carry me away to the hospital, probably. There's a lot of reports of UFOs around here in the San Luis Valley, sometimes around the mountains. Do you ever see any of those, or what do you think they are? The local UFOs, the ones that aren't the main craft.
Probably people maybe like us or something. Maybe. Like they build UFO or something like that.
When you now your grandpa seen it with you too. What did he think of the main craft?
Oh, I thought it was pretty cool seeing the craft in person.
Okay, now what do you think? What's your message to everybody out there?
I want to tell everybody to watch the skies.
Okay, do that one more time. Look this way.
I want to tell everybody to watch the skies. Keep an eye out just in case you see something. Have the cameras within binoculars and stuff.
What should they do if they tape a UFO?
They should.
Who do they call? What do you do when you get a UFO tape? Is there anybody you can call?
You can call.
Besides me, who do they call? Anybody, please?
They can. If you ever see UFO, you can call us.
That's a good one. Did the police or the government help? Do they help solve any of these mysteries? Do you think they should?
Yeah, I think the government and the police should solve some mysteries.
Do you think these UFOs are an important issue? Okay. Let's talk to me over here. Try not to look into the camera. And make sure you speak loud enough so we can... Let me move this a little closer because it films in stereo. Okay. Tell me what happened on August 27th. Just walk us through the scenario.
August 27th, 1995, 9:25 in the morning. My daughter Brandy and I just got done eating breakfast and walked outside to check on the progress of two construction workers working on the gutter of my home. So we walked out and we're standing on the north side of the home. And I was looking up towards the gutter, talking to construction workers, and Brandy started saying, "Daddy, there's something up in the sky." Didn't pay attention to her. "Daddy, there's something up in the sky again." I looked up. I said, "It's just the sun," because 9:25 in the morning, we were on the north side of the house, and we just had the sun blocked off with the gutter. So if we came out from the gutter at all, we were blinded by the sun. And again, "Daddy, there's something up in the sky right there," and pointed it out to me. I looked up and seen a very intense white glimmering, like just intensely lit white tube of light, and coming in from the west. When I first seen it, it appeared to be like almost stepping across the sky, almost like projecting itself to the next image.
Okay, hold on. When you do that again, keep your arm so it's not in the camera view. Keep it.
Okay. When I first seen it, was flying in from the west, and it appeared to be stepping or walking across the sky, almost like projecting itself to the next image. And the first thing I said is, "What in the heck is that?" And Brandy says, "It looks like a UFO." And anyway, looked at it for about a minute, and there was no doubt in my mind, just visually with my eye, that it was definitely a craft from another world. The size, the light wasn't reflecting the sun, but like an internal light, and it wasn't radiated from the craft itself. Another thing we noticed too, before I ran to get the video camera, was when it moved in the sky, instead of the crystal blue sky, the sky was slightly darker around it, like a light gray color, or a light black, between a black and a gray, surrounding the craft wherever it moved in the sky. So anyway, I ran into the house and got the video camera. When I got the video camera in and zoomed it in, that's when I could begin to see a double row of windows on the craft, and to really see how enormous it really was. Another thing that happened before I ran and got the video camera, a jet, which I believe was a commercial jet, flew right underneath it, flying from the west to the east, and I believe the jet didn't see it. If they'd looked up, they were flying into the sun. Anyway, it appeared to be at least 2 or 3 times higher than the jet, which was probably flying about 28 or 30,000 feet. During the time frame, the hour and 15 minutes it was up in the sky, I made 7 phone calls.
Hey, hold on. You're going like this on camera and you're blocking your voice like you're bullshit. Start over from the jet, because when you did the jet, your arm was blocking your...
Okay.
Because maybe somebody's blind and can read lips or something.
Before I went in and got the video camera, I'm sorry. Before I ran and got the video camera, a jet passed right underneath the craft, flying from the west to the east. I don't think they seen it because they were flying into the sun. Anyway, the craft appeared to be at least 2 or 3 times higher in altitude than the jet, which appeared to be flying about 28 or 30,000 feet. The whole time it was in the sky, it pretty much, it would move 30 degrees north or south, and then movements there were dancing and darting to the north and south. However, the movements to the east and west is when we got that walking or stepping effect across the sky. Anyway, through all the telephone calls, I made the 7 telephone calls to the sheriff's department, the radio station, twice to the restaurant. Was able to get 1 witness, a cook, to witness on the north side of the restaurant at the same time. I failed to say that, I said it was up by the sun. I failed to tell everybody that you need to block out the sun. It's just north and west of the sun. And so it pretty much stayed in that, it did stay in that same area the whole time we viewed it. When the craft left the area, I was on the phone with Peter Davenport, National UFO Reporting Center, and for 20 minutes, when the craft was still in the sky, my stepdaughter Lorraine, who was a witness to it, got on the roof probably about 5 minutes before I got off the phone with Peter, and seen it in the southwest direction here toward Poncha Pass. It was reported that afternoon by a groundskeeper at Baca Grande, who came forward. He heard about my footage. Everybody thought he was crazy. Said it flew straight into the side of Crestone Peak that afternoon. We also have a report, 2 disc jockeys documented, been on the TV show too, the Extra Show, that reported it 20 minutes before I filmed it in Salida, 200 miles to the west in Grand Junction, and shooting objects out of it and into a nearby mountainside with a big a flare up, but no sound though. The whole time the craft was in the sky, we see no sound. The 3 was 3 of us, me, Brandy, and my dad. Hall had binoculars on it during this time frame too, during my pausing and filming. And through binoculars, we could clearly see a double row of rectangular windows on it, going from a light sequence of a red to a pale green to a red across the craft. It appeared, to go across in almost like a wheel on a car or something, to go forward and back, an osculating effect. One time through binoculars too, everything about the craft was so unworldly looking. There was just no doubt that this thing, the technology was thousands of years. It appeared, to me at least, ahead of Earth. The craft itself almost looked like it could be a living light structure. It was so technology advanced. one time through the binoculars, it appeared like, we were looking into a different space or dimension through the binoculars, because when we got the binoculars on, a lot of time it turned into like we're looking into a fog bank or something like that, and it appeared it could be a wheel with an inner ball inside, with the wheel with the lights rotating around at a 360-degree wheel. When I was really studying it, really trying to see as much as I could with the binoculars, an overwhelming feeling, an electrical charge, a dull electrical charge went through my mind and my whole body, and overwhelming feelings came over me that the craft was aware of our presence. It wanted to be filmed and photographed. It was very important for the world to know the truth. This was 2,000-year history transpiring. It was a very spiritual experience, and since that time, I've worked hard, and the 3 years that passed, and I've got my story out to the world, and it was like the first 2 years, especially the first year, I was felt like a real strong sense of mission to get the story out to the world, that the craft was sending a message to the world, and it was very important for the world to know the truth.
Good. How big do you think the main craft was?
My belief, it was about a mile long. I stated in the paper the following day that if it would have landed, it would have took out Salida, at least the business district, which is about 16 blocks. So my estimates with scanning it with the binoculars, it was like I actually was scanning it. It wasn't like, I guess it was in the whole field of view, but it was, I was scanning with binoculars, and it was incredible. The length, I would say, I still think it was about a mile long. That's my belief. And the height to width ratio was probably about 25% on the height to the width, I would say. The inner structure, it was an inner structure, which, can't really say if that was metallic or not. It almost almost looked like the skin of the craft, which that was the only skin was in between the windows, was equal to the height, about half the height of one of the row of windows. And so there was this skin between the windows, but the craft itself was all lights, except for that. The double row of lights were continuous with no structure in between each light. It was a solid light around it. Let's see what else.
Well, how did this get on in the media? How did that happen?
I took the video footage down to the local paper that evening. The first thing I did was I was really paranoid, and so I started copying the tapes off the 8mm video onto VCR and hid the master. I was really paranoid with it, and I went down to the local paper and showed them, and then they interviewed me, and that made the front page headlines the following day. I went down to the local radio station, and they put it on the AP Newswire, and it went out. Let's see, I believe that was the same day. It went out on the AP Newswire, and then all the Denver media, CBS, NBC, and ABC, contacted me the following day, and all came up and did stories on it with Channel 4, CBS doing follow-up stories on the lab analysis and testimony of witnesses and documentation on the craft.
That's when Channel 4 landed in the front yard?
Yeah, the Channel 4 news helicopter landed in the our front yard, and anyway, since that time, it's been the local paper ended up doing about 23 stories on the TV coverage and UFO activity in the area. A month, September 25th of 1995, our FM transmitter and cellular microwave went off of Methodist Mountain 5 miles to the south of here, which borders the San Luis Valley to the north, which has been a UFO hotspot for the last 30 years and mutilation hotspot. And my dad told my mom, you better go outside and block out the sun to see if the main craft's up there again. Anyway, we started seeing a variety of bizarre objects, especially balls of light flying up high up through high cirrus clouds. There was a lot of low-flying cottonwood and debris in the air, but there was this higher level stuff that appeared to be 20, 30,000 feet in the air at least, and a lot of this moved against the jet stream, made 90-degree turns. At times we've seen structured craft up there with the naked eye. A lot of this stuff appeared to be metallic in structure. The local sheriff, I got the local sheriff to go live on the radio that day. He came out my house and reported that he's seen 7 bright silver metallic objects near and flying away from the corona of the sun. Anyway, that started what I call my solar filming, and I filmed about 60 hours of filming from September 25th of 95 through May of 96. And we have a variety of bizarre objects. A lot of this stuff appears to be rod related. Jose Escamilla related to a lot of his work on undiscovered bio-life forms. We don't know exactly what they are, but they have the ability to fly through solid structures. And so I have a lot of rods on video too. The Learning Channel use my footage. A lot of my solar filming on the show in the rod phenomena. Also during that time frame, which was witnessed by the locals too, was our commercial air traffic for 3 months after my solar filming started. The commercial air traffic went away. The skies were full of military. I filmed 2 military helicopters coming towards me, and then they seen I was filming them and cut south on September 25th. Also, all that week, I repeatedly filmed beautiful bald eagles riding the thermals continuously almost all day long and coming down at times above my house along with the UFO activity. And I believe there's something spiritual connection there, and that there's something to do with the sun. Through my research, I believe something dimensional was going on at the time there, and the main craft was up there as a sign or message to the world, or it was using the Indian legend says that we are a window to other worlds here. If this is a gateway or a vortex area, I'm not really sure about that, but something was definitely going on by the sun, and it was filmed in other locations and across the United States. Not too much longer after that, we found out there was other people that were also filming the solar, using the solar technique and filming UFOs. Tom King from Phoenix, an avid ufologist, got a hold of me back in '95, and I got him to start filming the solar, using the solar technique down there. And not before too long, he was filming UFOs all over Phoenix, and which was reported by the local media, and then finally Fox News, and it led up to the Phoenix, the Arizona mass sighting lights, which Tom ended up filming. And anyway, in '96, I really felt, well, in '95 and '96, I started to research. I found out that, local like a story like mine was allowed to go national. The AP Newswire, like say, picked it up. The Denver newscast, CBS and Phoenix came up and did a story. A lot of the affiliates picked this up on a national scale, so a local UFO story got out of the local paper. And so anyway, I started to see evidence of the conditioning process going on, and I started talking about that. Back at the time, I really thought something major was going to come down for Earth. I didn't know there was going to be Earth changes, the end of the world. But the one thing I did know that was from the main craft, though, the feelings were so profound that I felt something very positive was going to happen to the world. In '96, on one of the shows, I said there would be a mass sighting over a large city in the, I believe I said the next year, and we had the Phoenix mass sighting. My predictions of a landing or it's coming down, the government's going to finally admit we're not alone, hasn't quite materialized yet, but we keep getting leaks of information and footage and more interest all the time and more attention from mainstream science. I believe it's all leading to a bigger picture.
Do you think you got the best daylight footage ever shot?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily the best of a structured craft at close range. As I would say of a large craft of that size, of that particular craft, there's no doubt that we know of. It's the best footage of a cigar. I really am getting to believe more all the time that a lot of these cigar crafts are actually the wheel within wheel, which is biblical Ezekiel. It's interesting that our 1917 sighting here that was reported by the preacher and other prominent people in town, that when the preacher got his telescope on it, it was described as a wheel within a wheel. And this was in 1917. It's also interesting that the miracle of Fatima was going on at the same time in Portugal.
Let's talk a little bit about how UFO groups do or don't treat this skywatching and videotape subject matter.
It's been very hard to get analysis, blow-ups on my footage. My solar filming is basically been untouched as far as any type of lab or scientific analysis. Mainstream science, of course, is very reluctant. But the only one that's did work on my and stands behind my main craft did a little work on it was Jack Kasher, physics professor at the University of Nebraska. We have a few mainstream. John Dilettoso, who has a computer complex at West Point. I'm not sure if he's still there. His testimony and did work on my footage and was on the Inside Edition show. Jim Dilettoso worked on my footage. Tom King's worked on my footage. A lot of the TV shows also got private work done too. As far as ufologists go, though, Whitley Strieber did some enhancement, a little bit of work on my main craft, but we've got this craft, films and photographs of it around the world, and some spectacular pictures taken in 1998 in Monterrey, Mexico, by a prominent engineer down there, and they especially the big-time ufologist fail to report. It seems like the big stories are always stuck on their own,
on the back burner.
They're always stuck on the back burner. We've got a major thing going on here. The cigar reports, up until about 3 months ago, we were getting almost a report every week from somewhere throughout the world, same description craft. With all this correlation we got, we're trying to get this out to the public, and that's what I've been doing at my restaurant, E.T.'s Landing, that me and Cheryl opened up about a year ago. Anyway, I have a lot of correlation here that this craft is very real and is flying around the world, and it's been, we've got documentation of it going clear back to even 10,000 BC, and pictures, cave painting pictures, going back to 10,000 BC with the double row of windows, cigar objects, and it's kind of interesting, 14 windows wide, which has been some of the counts on the main craft. However, it stretches, and so the window count appears like it varies at times. Sometimes I think that instead of that 360 degree circle, we might be coming together like that and going out. I'm not sure on that theory there. Anyway, the restaurant seemed to be E.T.'s Landing. My final thing that I could do, that people come to me and share their stories, and the restaurant format is pictures from Hubble, UFO art, and actual UFO pictures. Is basically an educational format for the public, to heighten the UFO awareness to the general public. And the response has been better than expected. We built up a really successful business, and we get major religious people coming in. It doesn't seem like the UFOs has been any deterrent to the locals at all. When I came forward, dozens of other locals also came forward with their reports of UFOs. For about 2 months straight, you could see UFOs in the sky almost every night, especially Venus-like probes that would be up there for hours and then move very fast to different parts of the sky and then hover there for hours. Sometimes it'd be 7 or 8 of these in the sky. Also, we've seen dull white globes, which we've got one picture of a bright one, an egg-shaped globe, real clear picture taken in summer of '96. These dull globes moving around, not that far away. They didn't appear at all. Always escorted by 6 or 7 real dim flickering lights. And anyway, there was something definitely going over this area, going on over this area at the time. I've got documented dozens and dozens of reports from ex-military, even an ex-CIA guy north of town. We had several reports of structured craft at close range. Me and my daughter had 3 other structured craft sightings that we cannot explain. And I also seen a horseshoe, like looking into a horseshoe on this ridge to the south of us here when I was up by the power lines road. So this was real close to the power lines that appeared 3 times. I was by myself, and it was like looking into a horseshoe, and just pure silver metallic structure with my naked eye about 2 miles away. I wasn't able to get the video camera on it. 2 more of my major, I want to say one thing on the solar phenomena. One really spectacular thing that happened, it was about 8 people at the house, and we observed a daytime globe when I was filming the solar. That was on September 25th. As my dad says in video, it's like a bright north star, and it's flying in from the west, and it disappeared. Then it appears again, and it appears to be on the gutter of the home, but really it's tens of thousands of feet in the sky and right next to the sun. And we're observing this undulating globe, which has been estimated to be a mile across, that's setting right next to the corona of the sun, on the north side of the sun, for about 2 to 3 minutes. As it goes into the sun and we lose it, a thick mass, almost looked like a double row of windows, lifts up from the sun. Through 60 hours of filming, I have filmed tons of what the skeptics would probably call spider webs. Anyway, these particular objects here have mass to them and appear like they could be the main craft. And still in slow motion, it appears that there's a double row of windows. Also that day, I got one dropping into the sun, September 25th. Throughout 60 hours of filming, that's the only day it appeared that I filmed the same craft again a month later, next to the sun, lifting up from the sun and dropping into the sun. The other another major thing that happened to me too was in March of '96. I was blocking out the sun at our other former restaurant, Patio Pancake, and looking to the south, and had the sun blocking out from underneath, and this object started dropping from the sun. At first, I thought, I didn't know what to think at first. I thought it was going to go out like a lot of the objects and just disappear, which we have tons of filming with objects just disappearing in the middle of the TV set or the screen. Instead of going out of the screen, it disappears right in the middle. Anyway, this object kept coming down, and I says, man, this thing is really dropping a long ways. So I ran to my vehicle and got my binoculars, and as it passed in front of Methodist Ridge to the south here, I could see that this thing was very close to us. Through binoculars, I could clearly see what appeared was no doubt. It looked like a diving bell, and it had a round porthole in it. This was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was able to run inside and get a dishwasher to come out because it probably took 3 minutes for it to drop from the sun. I didn't have my camera because I burned it up, and then I went with Tom King to Area 51 and came back, and my computer went on my new camera for about 2 months, so I was without a camera through a lot of UFO activity. Anyway, this thing, we lost it in cottonwood trees, and there's scattered homes over there, so it appeared it made a soft landing right in the middle of the day. We got no feedback on witnesses at all. Interestingly enough, 3 months later, the same craft, which is on the Art Bell page, it's identical craft, except it didn't have the round porthole, was shot in Alabama. And that's on the Art Bell page. And anyway, this craft, so it dropped from the bottom of the sun, appeared to make the soft landing in the middle of the day, and me and the dishwasher witnessed that. My mom came out. It was already down to the cottonwood branches almost, and she didn't pick it up. So that was probably one of our most spectacular, sightings besides the main craft there.
Okay, one thing, let's, where's the future of all this sky watching going?
The future of, Brand,
where's the future of this going with the guys and the cameras?
The future of Skywatch, there's going to be more. I believe the activity is going to keep escalating. We're going to keep getting, I think, better and better footage all the time. It seems like, especially on the main craft, they're letting themselves be filmed clearer all the time. And I think, I say ufology is just is in such shambles right now. Whether we can, some of these bigwigs like Joe Firmage or somebody can pull something out, or we can start to get some mainstream recognition and help, mainstream scientific recognition and help. There's a lot of things coming down right now that, it doesn't take too much to put the icing on the cake, but we definitely need some help from the aliens. We need another mass sighting over a large city. That would be really nice. We need for the aliens to stop the cover up too, and help us out a little more. As far as the future goes, I really think we're going to see, we're going to make it to 2000 now, and I don't have any short-term hope that we're going to have a landing anymore, or I think the evidence is going to be in video, and it's going to be probably a long-term thing, and the conditioning process is going to continue, and until finally it's almost it'll be accepted by everybody, and then maybe that's when everything will come down. I'm not sure.
Let's see. We need to just talk briefly about why it's important people, when they see something, to get their camera and get it on tape.
It's very important for people to, if they see anything, always carry a camera, especially in Colorado, in this area here, because there's a lot of sporadic activity, and we haven't had a wave like we did back in '95, but historically, when something like that happens, it's going to come back. People, you can see anything, you can see everything and anything with your naked eye, but without some video or photographic evidence, it's not going to mean anything to anybody. It's just going to be another report that nothing's going to be done about, basically. I almost stopped documented sightings because it's just, I've got so many documented now. It's just another X on the map. It's very frustrating at times. I've pulled back from ufology a lot because I finally realized that I got my story out. I can't do too much more. I'm not gonna evidently change the world, and that I can have 1 million sighting reports, and what am I going to do with them?
So there you have it. In Tim's own words, in Brandy Edwards' own words. Beautiful evening here in Phoenix, Arizona. As the sun goes down and about a quarter of the moon is out. So this footage is now out there. Sitting here for 30 years on camera. So I went out and produced my own little documentary on them, and now that I have a lot more tools than I had back then, I can do a hell of a lot better job. So I might put together shows. I don't know what the hell the future holds. Might be going to Sedona this weekend, but I went and bought tickets to Jaws like a couple of months ago, and she freaking loves that movie, and about everybody does. So yeah, probably go check that out. And then it's a 3-day weekend, so maybe head up to Sedona. We'll see. I've already done it many times, but repetition is one of the keys to successfully land in some type of UFO event. Is you got to put in the time. You got to have your stuff there. So moving ahead, as I was digitizing the 670 something videotapes I have, this tape comes into my collection, which I'm going to play now. This tape was from Village Labs, that an FBI warning on it. As Village Labs says, do not copy. So what's going to go on? This is going to be about a 7-minute video. I already posted this about a week ago for members that have joined the 4K Skywatch podcast. I put out videos early so you guys can watch them. Some videos I put up that just they get to watch. So I put this video out. Anyway, this was shot by Sean Strain. I have no idea who it is. This video is from California. The first part of the video is a black donut, whatever. This video was also up converted into 4K using Topaz. the Black O or whatever it is. I'm just going to leave it because people love watching footage and stuff, so I'm going to put it out there. But the end of it, he caught something that looks like Tim Edwards' video, the main crack. Now, this was the tape Jim gave me. It's the only way this thing got in my damn collection. Apparently, I never gave it back to him. The tape came in 98, so it was before I went to this time at Tim's house and filmed that documentary. So I don't have any memory of what happened with that tape. Did I bring it back to Village Labs? I guess I didn't turn the tape back in. I'm sure I told him about it, but probably Jim was busy and it got ignored and put aside. So this is an additional piece of footage that goes along with it. I'm thinking now that I was so wrapped up into this Salida case that if I saw something that kind of debunked it, I was too deep inside. Tim was now not just a person I was investigating. Tim was my friend, right? So then here comes the confirmation bias. So anything that could debunk it, you kind of put aside because that's your bro. It would be like him coming up to me saying, dude, your shit's flares. And I go, well, dude, your shit's spiderweb. And we just crack a beer and laugh. That we didn't do that. We supported each other. So now that there's a long time has came with this case, and when I digitized this probably in 2017, it just sat there in my collection. So now I'm going to show you the video I got from Village Labs, and it will add on to the Tim Edwards story. So let's watch this right now.
Guys. It's no balloon. Trying to hold the tripod. You see way up there. Showing up. This is incredible. This is the best I've ever got. Best footage I've ever got. And thank you guys. It's incredible. Just saw that people contact today. And this is amazing. You guys are totally cool. viewfinder. Lose you. You guys gone? You guys gone? You gone? Just like that. Wow. That was incredible. Oh no, there you are. Thank you very much for showing up. Thank you very much. You guys are totally cool. Slowly rising up. There's the roof. Way down there. Slowly rising up. Wow. Wow, that's incredible. Cover the camera steady. Thanks for coming down so low and sticking around for so long. Really appreciate it. That kind of freaked out though. Sorry guys. Kind of freaked out. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. What did he want? Where'd you go? There you are. Thank you. Thank you. Send the probe out. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Thank you very much for showing up. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Please rise up.
So there you have another video that looks just like the cigar that Tim Edwards shot, but this looks like a spider web. So what the hell? Watching that video, and there's some other videos I've seen on Reddit from time to time that show something very, very close to what Tim shot. But you can tell it's a spider web. Started over time, when I started watching this in the 2010s, I started rethinking all this, going, wait a minute. What Tim got's a spider web. But how did 6 people, including Tim, see this from different locations? Mass hallucination, possibly? Contagion? I don't know. What you see from the ground, with no camera, when you see something like this, is up in the sky, there's something like this glinting and moving around back and forth. But he got out his binoculars and looked at it. His dad looked at it through binoculars. Someone a mile and a half away saw it, or claims he did to keep him employed. I don't know. But we have to look at everything. So my thinking in 2025 is he shot a spider web. if I looked at this case and I didn't know him, and it wasn't buddies with him, and I didn't drink six packs with him, I'd hands down say this was a spider web if this just came to me as a investigator. But when you get close to the target, close to the subject, then here comes confirmation bias. So investigating cases, you got to look at that. You always need a buddy. So if you're people watching or skywatchers or whatnot, have a friend. Team up with somebody. They don't have to be a local person. It could be a long distance buddy. Get somebody who's your friend, and you will skywatch together, maybe at different cities. There's people here watching this. Get somebody who can put their hands on the shoulder and say, look, I'm going to give you some fucking straight talk. This is what it really is, even if it's not a UFO. You need a person like that in your life to keep you grounded so you don't lose your shit and start thinking, if this spider web lands, it would crush the town, right? So think about that. Think about that. So leave your comments on what you think this is. Was Tim Edwards' video a spider web? Was Sean Strain's video a spider web? What do you think? I mean, there's other videos out there, and it will lead you to that. Now, let me play a little bit of Tim Edwards' best portions that you can download and run them through your video analysis tools. This one here I did with DaVinci Resolve on some of it. That DaVinci Resolve, you can also use that. There's a free version of it. Then there's a paid version of it, which is pretty expensive. But they give you updates. So if they keep updating it, you don't have to pay. Like Topaz, if they will do an update just to get you to pay. So be careful with that. Topaz is good, but it can get pretty damn expensive. DaVinci Resolve, I would say give that a try and see what you think of that. So let me go to the section here. And this stuff is I put in the members section a while ago, but let's take a look at this.
No. There ain't no little airplane that moves 5 miles in 2 seconds. I know, that's what I mean. Or it's moved more than 5 miles. It moved over that part of the sky there. It probably moved 500. It probably moved 100 miles in a matter of a second or two.
Here's that section stabilized with DaVinci Resolve, kind of cropping in. And then you start dealing with, pixelization at some point. I mean, Topaz can only go so far with creating something out of nothing. But yeah, the second one video from Sean Strain does look like this one. This is very hard to do. Go outside and try and duplicate this footage by yourself. Good fucking luck. You ain't gonna get anything like this. Nothing like this has been filmed before in '95 when Tim saw it. That's why everybody from MUFON and every investigator down to anybody said this was some type of huge alien ship. So did the whole fucking community in ufology get this wrong? Did they get a spider web wrong? I mean, possibly with the tools at the time. Um, yeah, everybody. So this could be, if you're going to believe it's a spider web, then you have to believe, at least to a degree, that there was some contagion with mass hallucination, that everybody was saying it's a UFO. It's a classic case in ufology. And all we can do is just look at it and look at videos that we have that were shot today and make our best judgment. Yes, you can pull still frames out of this. That's what Village Labs did, is they just did a still off of this section of the video, printed it on an 8x10 and used that as a handout. Very strange. I do see what Tim was talking about with 2 rows of windows on this thing. I mean, you start freezing it, and that's what Tim was describing, was about 32 windows going down the side, and he was saying there were ports. So an amazing case. Tim Edwards was a very friendly man. I'm glad I had the opportunity to meet him, to get to know him and his family. I was there in the good times. The final time I went to his house was in the middle of a divorce, so I saw some of the bad times too. But in the end, the family stuck together, and they were with him in his final moments. So Tim did what we all hope people do, is go public, put your name out there, give us a copy of the footage, and let ufology do its thing, and let it shake out and see where this lands. And this was back when the stigma was real fucking sky high. I mean, you took a risk coming forward. That's for damn sure. And Tim and his family and Brandy, thanks for coming forward and telling us what happened regardless. So this is, like I told you, a couple-hour show. Thanks to everybody watching. True Seeker. That was rewinded some of the better shots. If you want to study it, those are the shots to study. So yeah, it's very nice tonight, but we got our ass kicked last Wednesday by a storm. I'm going to run the footage as outro here. Yeah, I do a lot of that. A lot of the processing I do that kind of sort of does make it on a podcast or don't. I've been thrown up in the members section saying, here, look at this. And we can trade back and forth processing things. There's only so far you can go with 4K, but man, 4K did a real damn good job on Tim's video, modernizing them, looking good. Not just on a 55-inch 4K monitor, and it looked pretty damn good. Yeah, it did look identical. If you Google, and Google's work list for UFO shit, unless you know exactly what you're looking for, Google Reddit, Tim Edwards Salida, and there'll probably be some other spiderweb type videos that come up that are comparable with what Sean Strain shot. I don't know. It's up to you guys. I've lived it, so I've shot a lot of spiderwebs back in these days when all that stuff was flying around the sun. It might still be up there. We saw these spiderwebs that we could tell they were spiderwebs, but they were hundreds and hundreds of feet long, and they would land on your property. They landed in Tempe, and I tried to collect samples of it. As soon as you touched the spiderweb, the fucking thing would disintegrate. Just like cotton candy, it was gone. So there was no way possible to get it. And we were calling that stuff angel hair. We were calling it angel hair and all this. It made sense. Angel hair was in the UFO folklore, and that's what this was. So how in the hell did we have spiders that were shooting these webs out? And I have seen videos of certain spiders that can shoot stuff across the river, right? So they can get across it. But these were spider webs. But god damn, we had them in Phoenix. At the same time, they had them all the way over in Colorado. We had reports of these in Reseda, California, LA area where John Bro lived, all the way out to Florida, same reports, and up in Washington. So this was like, the spiders just going to town, just throwing stuff out there that you needed this guy to kind of point it out. I don't see that shit anymore, man. And I got fucking cameras up the wazoo everywhere. I don't see any of these spider webs anymore. Very strange. But let's get into the outro here, and show you. Here's what came in. I saw this storm coming in. I aimed the cameras at it. The radar pole was up, and I wanted to see what the hell would happen to the radar pole, because it's really sturdy and fucking thick. And figured, hey, ain't no storm taking this out, right? We need like hurricane level fucking 5 to damage this. So the storm comes in, and I'm watching it, and the drag is from the radar antenna on top of it. So I'm watching it going back and forth like this. It's right on the other side of this wall. Didn't hear anything. And I'm thinking, how's it doing that? There's got to be some play in there. So it's going back and forth, then kind of side to side. And I'm thinking, this is stressing the entire pole unit. If it snaps, it's going to, go out in the street or something. Kind of fuck. I don't picture this snapping, not in this type of wind, but I was kind of going, oh shit. And I ran outside, and I pulled the levers and let it down. I put it back up this morning, and when it went up, the thing peed water out. There's little holes in the side, so as each bar went up, water came out of it. So yeah, I posted this mass video on a short that just shows that section 3, the ring don't work. Send it to the guy who works at Will Burt. I know they watched it. 5 of them did. I said, fuck it, I'll just post it. Maybe someone will come across it that owns one of these that can help me fix it. And then no one watched it. And then I put in just a couple of tags. Now 400 fucking people watched that while I did the show. What the fuck? How were 400 people on a Friday night looking up a mast and watching it? I've seen it in stream. You can look at it. It's got hundreds of views on it. There's a couple of dozen or so watching this stream. That shows that this type of material is shadow banned. Anyway, I'll leave you with the Death Store. This is the all sky camera getting it coming in, and there's a lot of shit flying around, a lot of debris. This was about 30 minutes of 50-mile-an-hour or so gusts. Now, I happen to know this crazy guy who has his own radar, and he told me that he picked up objects inside the storm going up to 320 miles an hour. He thinks that the radar was recording microbursts going through. Microburst is a tornado without a funnel. So yeah, they can come in and snap this stuff. Now, looking at the palm trees in the distance, you can see them kind of way back and forth, some of the ones that are up 50 feet. But palm trees are pretty damn resilient to come down. What falls over are these oak trees, pine trees, whatever the fuck we got here. So yeah, it was cool. I don't go out and breed that shit. I don't know what chemicals are in there. It's probably Roundup, fertilizer, and weed killer. Being picked up by the desert floor and thrown around. This storm was 70 miles wide and 1 mile high. And the local news talked about it. Or not the local news, of course they talk about it. National news was talking about it. Our dust storm. Now it's blowing that thermal fork around. I'm not doing that. The wind is doing that. So that's putting a lot of I don't know, wear and tear on the teeth inside that pellicle pan and tilt that's controlling it. Each of three of those cameras weighs 12 pounds each, so it's like, I don't know, about 30 pounds sitting out on the load, and the wind's just moving it around. This is the view of the radar pole before I took it down. It doesn't look like nothing. This is speeded up 50 times normal speed, and you really can't outrun that. On the freeway, you pull over and turn off your lights and start getting fucking religious and praying and shit. You turn your lights off because someone with no visibility thinks you're driving, and they'll pull up behind you and rear end you. There's no real good solution to what to do when you're on the freeway with this, other than get off the freeway. That tree there that's shaking, it has a disease. We had one in our pine tree, spent $3,000 having it removed. If we didn't, it was dead. It probably snapped and fall in the house. So yeah, my cameras are strapped. Something flies over that's big, every camera is going to get it. Beautiful 4K. And I'm kind of glad I got this pole. You know, I don't have any regrets on the amount of money I spent to get that radar pole operating. It's a member of the family, camera family, and I could always put different payloads on it. Yeah, I thought the shingles were flapping, and I watched playback, and that was actually another optical illusion. The shingles weren't flapping because I was thinking it's going to blow the shingles off. I was kind of worried about that, so I watched that in real time and know that they didn't flap, but for some reason, there was something that made it look like they did. And that is it. That concludes episode 34 of the 4K Skywatching podcast. Episode 35 will be out. I don't know on what, but I'll figure it out. Thanks all for watching. We'll see you guys on the next episode of 4K Skywatching. And you know something's going to happen. This is the place where the shit goes down. This is made by Skywatchers for Skywatchers. And it's the only place that's doing something like this live, so that makes it the best, and there's no competition. I encourage you to start your own podcast, but make it about skywatching. Don't do a podcast of other fucking people's podcasts. We already have 10,000 of those. Keep it real, do first-person investigation. Thanks for watching. Happy to have you. We'll see you next time.